Hi, I'm going to show you how to use the Draw Border tool in Excel to create borders in a file much quicker and easier. Now how we do this, there is a button in the Home tab in the Fonts section which is almost usually always next to the Underline button and also the Painter's pot. The reason why I'm making a big deal of the fact that it's near other buttons is sometimes the symbol on this button can be different depending on what you last did. Normally it'll look a bit like this. Well, how it works, I pop the arrow down. Now at the top, these are kind of preset border patterns you might want to go for. But the one we're interested in is towards the bottom, we have Draw Border Grid, and Erase Border. Now if I click onto Draw Border, if I move my mouse over here, can you see rather than the usual pointer, it will actually be a pen. Now if I click and hold with my left mouse button and drag to where I want to actually draw this border, can you see it actually draws the border wherever I want to go? Now if you trace a horizontal line, it draws a horizontal line. If you trace a vertical line, it draws a vertical line. But if you do a diagonal over multiple cells, can you see it actually draws a box? So, I mean, me personally, I think this is a much more natural way of drawing borders because, you know, you're not having to think, is it a left or a right border? You just get the pen, start drawing. Now, let's say I've made a mistake and I want to get rid of those borders. I pop the arrow down. And can you see, before I go on to the next thing, can you see the symbols ever so slightly different? It's based on the fact I last selected Draw Border. But I'm going to pop the arrow down and go to Erase Border. Can you see I get a little rubber? If I click, drag, and then let go, can you see that will erase that individual border? Now I can trace the vertical or the horizontal, or if I kind of do a diagonal over all of the cells that I want to remove the border from, can you see it removes all of them there? Now in addition to Draw Border and Erase Border, you also have Draw Border Grid. Now Draw Border Grid, again, we get a pen, so we can draw a vertical or a horizontal like we could with Draw Border. But if I do a diagonal over multiple cells, can you see, as it says on the tin, it draws a border grid. So it kind of fills in all of the lines inside of that. Now a couple more little tricks up the sleeve of Draw Border. If I go pop the arrow down again, go to Line Color, can you see I can pick Line Color? So now it's a red border that I'm going to draw. Pop the arrow down, Line Style. Can you see I've got a whole selection of different borders I want to go for? So I'll go for this thicker border. I'm going to leave it on Draw Border Grid. Now if I trace back over, can you see it draws a red thick border over those cells? Now changing the colour and the line style doesn't change pre-existing borders. It's just going to change what happens when you subsequently draw a new border. So that is a little bit about how the Draw Border Grid and Erase Border tool works in Excel to make your life easier producing borders in your file.